Do you actually need a premium smartwatch? Nearly every brand like Apple, Samsung, and Garmin make high-end watches that can cost up to $800. I wear a premium smartwatch, which is the Garmin Forerunner 965. Even though it's a generation behind, it is still $600. And the watch that replaced it, the Forerunner 970, is $750. I love this watch. It has so many different features that instead of listing them out loud, I'm gonna put them up on screen here, and I already did an entire video gushing about the battery life and how it helps me track my health. But when Garmin updated its entry-level running watches, I got curious. At only $250, which is Garmin's cheapest running watch, the Forerunner 70 looks incredibly capable with a similarly huge list of features. So the question I have is, would swapping out this watch for that one be a real sacrifice? To find out, Garmin sent me the Forerunner 70 in Tidal Blue, mostly so I could differentiate it from my current watch in this video, but the color did sort of start to grow on me. All right, so we just took the Garmin Forerunner 70 out of the box. The very first thing I noticed about this watch is that the watch face is significantly smaller than the 965, which might not be a problem for you, but I've gotten very accustomed to the size of this watch, so that's gonna take some getting used to. After I turned it on, I noticed that the screen is really nice. I expected it to be, maybe a little bit lower resolution, not as crisp as my more expensive watch, but I don't really notice a difference. If anything, it looks a little bit nicer. And then the other thing I noticed is that the band just feels a little bit cheaper, which I guess is to be expected. The band on this one is really soft, really comfortable. This one doesn't feel like it's going to be quite as comfortable, but I guess it is time to make the switch. Yeah, it just doesn't feel quite the same. Doesn't feel quite the same, but it's not uncomfortable. After about a week or so of wear, the band started to feel more comfortable, and I did get used to the smaller size of the display. The thing that really helps the smaller watch face is that the AMOLED display is very clear and crisp, so it's easy to read that smaller font. When I first connected the watch to my phone via Bluetooth, the app was able to load my profile onto the watch, which took only about 5 minutes, so switching watches was seamless. The Garmin rep who sent me this watch did warn me that this would be a significant downgrade from my 965, but I struggled to find where those downgrades actually existed. I mostly do road running, a lot of road running, and I occasionally cycle. Garmin markets the Forerunner 70 as a running watch, but it has 80 built-in sports tracking apps. The vast majority of people use wearables to track walking, running, cycling, hiking, and strength training, maybe swimming. You'd be hard pressed to find something this thing doesn't track. This watch even has dual band GPS. GPS accuracy on a watch like this is super important. If you're training and the watch isn't tracking your pace correctly, it can throw everything off. I feel like this watch has to have less accurate GPS compared to the more expensive one, but let's go find out. So to test the GPS accuracy on the Forerunner 70, I am at one of my favorite trails. We're gonna do a little trail run. I've got the 70 here, I've got the 965 here. It feels really wrong to be wearing two watches, especially one on my right wrist, but that's what we gotta do. Let's go do it. Oh man, it's a really steep section. Okay, so we did make it. I'm at the top. It's beautiful up here, and according to both Garmins, I have gone 2 miles and gone 759 feet of elevation gain. So that's the reason why I'm going so slow. And now, for the fun part, to go down. So after wearing both watches on several trail runs, the GPS performance is virtually identical, which is pretty surprising. The biggest thing that this thing is missing is a barometric altimeter sensor, as well as a gyroscope and a compass. That means that it's not going to track your ascent in the same way as the 965. It's just not quite as accurate because it uses only GPS. The lack of compass is also an issue for runs if you're reliant on mapping and turn-by-turn directions. But the fact that it still tracks your ascent despite everything I read online saying it wouldn't is pretty cool. On top of this, I found some quality of life upgrades to the software. I've gotten very used to my morning report that shows me how I slept, my stress level, my body battery, which is a measure of how much energy I have in a given day, and what the Garmin coach's recommended workout is. The 70 has this too, but it also has an evening report, which gives me an overview of how my day went and recommendations on when to get to sleep, and I found it to be kind of nice. Notifications also work better on the 70 with a dedicated notification screen that you can swipe to. Samsung's recent updates to its watches has the Vitals feature, where it tracks heart rate variability, respiration, skin temperature, and your blood oxygen. This is meant to give you a picture of your overall health at any given time. Garmin has been doing that for ages, and this $250 smartwatch tracks 4 of the 5 metrics. It's only missing skin temperature. It also has Garmin Coach, which gives recommendations of what type of workout you should be doing based on your health metrics, recovery, fitness goals, and recent workouts. These features help me train for 2 marathons, and I just signed up for a 3rd one that I'll be racing in the spring. So again, I have to ask, where is the actual downgrade? On paper, the biggest downgrade is battery life. I get up to 3 weeks of battery on a single charge of the Forerunner 965. And yes, I did say weeks. The battery life on the 70 is rated up to 13 days, but in my testing it lasted a little bit over a week. Again, I did say week. Virtually every other watch in this price range struggles to get a full day, so the extra charging I had to do with this watch did not feel burdensome at all. I know I talked a ton about battery life in that other video about Garmin, but sleep is where health tracking happens. If you're charging your watch at night all the time, you're missing out on a lot of health data, and even this cheap Garmin enables that. So it is a downgrade, but compared to the competition, it's not really. But I did eventually find actual downgrades on the 70. It's missing those extra sensors like I mentioned. It is also missing Garmin Pay, which is Garmin's answer to Apple Pay, and it's missing the ability to download and play back music and connect headphones. I'm going to be real here, I do not like Garmin's music capability and I never use it. It's kind of cumbersome to load music, and also I don't really like running any serious distance without my phone in case something goes wrong. So for me, that isn't a real sacrifice, but it could be for you. The only, and I mean only other thing I noticed using this watch for 2 weeks is that it has fewer watch face options. I tend to like the look of an analog style watch face, and if this watch has that, I couldn't find it. Does this mean I'm going to swap my Forerunner 965 for the 70? No, because my desire to do more trail running and the better battery life. But if you want a smartwatch with an emphasis on training and you're on a budget, should you get the 70? Also no. That may come as a surprise if you watch this video to this point, but the only reason I say no is that the more capable Forerunner 170 exists for only an extra $50. For that $50, you get Garmin Pay, and you get all those extra sensors, which will let you track the 5th vital, skin temperature, and improve your trail running experience with better elevation tracking. For another extra $50, you can get the 170 with music capabilities, but don't bother with that. The 170 has the same battery and form factor and screen as the 70, and actually, according to Garmin, the battery lasts slightly less time because it's powering those extra sensors, but I doubt you will notice a serious difference. But if you are determined to spend $250, this watch is shockingly capable. I was expecting to miss out on a lot of things that my much more expensive, albeit older watch can do, but it did not feel like much of a sacrifice at all. If you want to spend even less, your options are very limited. The Fitbit Air exists for only $99, but there's no screen, so it doesn't tell time, it doesn't have built-in GPS, and the intelligent training features are locked behind a Google Health subscription. The Garmin training features are all free for now. The Garmin Connect app has a Plus version for the same price as Google Health, but I've yet to try it. All this to say the Garmin Forerunner 70 is awesome, but for a fuller experience, the 170 is the move. But what do you think? Have you tried any Garmin watch before? What was your experience? Let us know. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.